Stop what you're doing. Look around you. You see failure, you see downfall, you see ruin. You assume it's external, bad luck, a tough market, a powerful enemy. But what if the single greatest obstacle to your success, your resilience, and your happiness is not outside your control but inside your head? It's an ancient philosophical truth rediscovered by modern masters like Ryan Holiday. It's the simple, terrifying reality that your ego is the enemy. This isn't about confidence. This isn't about self-belief. It's about a quiet, toxic monster that whispers just loud enough to drown out wisdom, learning, and self-control. Over the next few minutes, we're not just summarizing a book. We're performing mental surgery. We are going to expose the 5 most destructive ways the ego holds us back. At the aspiring phase, the successful phase, and the failing phase. We'll show you exactly how the ancient philosophy of Stoicism provides the antidote. Stick with us because the first lesson is the hardest. The moment you think you've mastered anything, the ego has already won. We all start somewhere, full of ambition, full of fire. This is the aspiring phase. This is where the ego doesn't shout, it smirks. It tells you that reading about doing is the same as doing. It tells you that effort is enough. The ego loves a good story. Before you've done anything, the ego has already composed your memoir. It's written the acceptance speeches, imagined the wealth, and celebrated the victory. This is what Ryan Holiday calls talcum powder talk. It's light, it feels good, but it leaves nothing solid behind. The Stoic antidote is praxis, practical exercise. The Stoics, Epictetus especially, hammered on the difference between mere theory and practice. Epictetus once asked, "How long will you put off thinking yourself worthy of the best things?" He wasn't talking about self-esteem, he was talking about action. The ego says, "I'm going to be a great writer." The Stoic says, "I will write 500 words today." The ego lives in the future perfect. I will have been successful. The Stoic lives in the present imperative. I am working. Your greatest defense against a runaway ego at the start is to embrace the boring, anonymous, incremental labor. This means being a true student, accepting criticism, and embracing obscurity. The power of the blank slate is real. Real learning demands you approach every mentor, every book, and every project with the humility of one who knows nothing. The less you speak of your intentions, the more energy you have to execute them. Do the work and let the world catch up when it's ready. Now you've done the work. You've achieved success. This is where the ego gets dangerous. It stops being a quiet whisper and becomes a powerful, celebrated voice. It's no longer your enemy, it's your cheerleader. The ego equates achievement with who you are. You didn't just do something great, you are great. This is the moment the ego shifts your focus from the process to the prestige. The ego starts demanding adulation, comfort, and immunity from criticism. The Stoic antidote is memento mori, remember you will die. Marcus Aurelius, arguably the most powerful man on earth, wrote in his private journal, "Soon you will be ashes or a skeleton, and either a name or not even a name. But fame is only a noise and nothing else. Your success is fleeting. Your praise is fleeting. Your life is fleeting." The true Stoic lesson here is that your identity should be rooted in virtue, justice, temperance, courage, wisdom, things entirely within your control, not in external outcomes like titles or awards. Practice self-correction. Force yourself to seek negative feedback. Create systems that humble you, like daily journaling or self-review. Stay a student. The moment you declare yourself a master, you close the door on new knowledge. True fulfillment comes from the continuous pursuit of excellence, not the momentary achievement of a goal. Don't let your title become who you are. The moment you believe you are too important to sweep the floor is already sweeping the ego out of the building. Failure is inevitable. It's coming for you. And when it arrives, the ego performs its final, most devastating trick. It refuses to take responsibility. When things go wrong, the ego screams, "It wasn't my fault. They were out to get me. The conditions weren't right. The ego views external threats as an attack on its perceived greatness, leading to one of the most anti-Stoic reactions possible: anger and resentment. This is the final collapse, where a person is so invested in the illusion of their own perfection that they choose denial over learning. They choose victimhood over wisdom. The Stoic antidote is amor fati, love of fate. Ryan Holiday emphasizes that the truly great are not immune to failure. They simply respond differently. They accept everything that happens, good and bad, not just because they have to, but because it is a necessary ingredient for their growth. Epictetus said, "If anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses about what is said, but answer, 'He was ignorant of my other faults, else he would not have mentioned these alone.'" The Stoic takes criticism, owns the mistake, and moves on. View failure as data. Every setback is a chance to learn something invaluable. The ego sees punishment. The Stoic sees instruction. The ego dies the moment you stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What now?" The ancient Stoics never had to deal with Instagram or Twitter, but the ego is a timeless beast. Our modern world has simply provided it with an unlimited supply of steroids. The most common trap today is the obsession with the external scoreboard: likes, views, status, public outrage, and celebrity. The ego demands constant, visible proof of its superiority. This obsession destroys two key virtues: stillness, the quiet, focused internal life required for deep work, and temperance, the self-control to avoid excess. The ego is never satisfied. It always needs more recognition. The Stoic answer is to retreat to the inner citadel, the fortress of your own mind. You must be deliberately anti-social media in your mental habits. Seek obscurity. Find tasks or causes where no one is watching, no one is applauding, and the reward is purely the quality of the work itself. Use journaling, the Marcus Aurelius method, as a private checkup. Write not about what others think of you, but about the standards you failed to meet. Ignore the noise. The moment you stop reacting to critics or celebrating every win publicly, the ego starves. You are free to simply do the work. Your value is determined by your character, not by your follower count. We've seen the trap in the 3 phases of life. We've introduced the Stoic defense. Now, let's combine them into the ultimate weapon against the ego. The fundamental goal of Stoicism is not happiness or success. It is virtue. This is the highest good. And what is virtue? It is the mastery over the ego to choose wisdom, justice, temperance, and courage in every situation. Ryan Holiday's ultimate challenge is simple. Stop trying to be something and start trying to do something. A person driven by purpose has no time for ego. They are focused on the task, not their reputation. They serve the cause, not their own image. The Stoics constantly reminded themselves of their small place in the vast, indifferent universe. This cosmic perspective is humbling. Your problems are small. Your ego is smaller. The true test of character comes in every moment. When you are successful and the ego pushes you to be lazy. When you fail and the ego pushes you to blame others. In every single moment, the Stoic asks, what is the right thing to do right now? The ancient Stoics knew what modern self-help gurus forget. You cannot simply think your way out of the ego trap. You have to work your way out of it. So here is your call to action. Take the lesson you found most impactful, whether it's Epictetus's call to action, Marcus Aurelius's humility, or Seneca's call to own your mistakes, and commit to applying it today. The ego will always be there, fighting for control. But now, you have the philosophy. You have the discipline. You have the choice. Ego is the enemy, and you are ready for the fight.